Do we have any agenda adjustments, Vice Chair Burns?
Any agenda adjustments? None at this time, so let's get a motion to approve. Okay.
Yeah, we're good. Okay.
Yep. Yes.
Move approval of the agenda.
Can I get a second?
Second.
Thank you. All those in favor?
Aye.
Passes 4-0.
Good evening, everyone. I will read the announcements published in tonight's agenda. On Tuesday, September 3rd, the Durham County Board of Elections opened its new facility at the Shops of Hope Valley, located at 3825 South Roxborough Street, Suite 101, here in Durham. Operations at the downtown office, which was located at 201 North Roxborough Street, have ceased and the office is closed. All Durham County residents in need of Board of Election services should go to the new building. Directional signage will be at the new facility to direct voters into the temporary entrance. This is phase 1 of 2 in the moving process for the Board of Elections. To receive updates about the move, board meeting notices, or any other Board of Elections news, please sign up for notifications at dcovotes.com. The Durham County Board of Elections has launched a new mobile application, Deco Votes, designed to help residents stay informed and prepared for upcoming elections. This free, easy-to-use mobile application offers instant access to important information, including election dates, sample ballots, personalized voter details, and voting method options. The mobile app is available for download via the Apple Store as well as Google Play Store. Durham County voters looking to see their sample ballots for the upcoming November 5th statewide general election are now available. For more information, you can visit the decovotes.dconc.gov website. Join us for Entrepreneurship versus Employment, a panel discussion surrounding Durham reentry resources on Wednesday, September 11th at 11 a.m. in the auditorium at the Durham County Main Library in collaboration with the Durham Local Reentry Council. Whether you are a person with a background trying to figure it all out, community member, professional, or simply interested in supporting justice-involved individuals, this discussion will provide valuable insight and foster important conversation about the future of entry and reintegration. There is a registration and there's a link there for that. You are invited to the Dementia Inclusive Community Forum on Friday, September 20th from 9:30 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the Durham Convention Center, located at 301 West Morgan Street. There will be a keynote speaker, breakout panels, and a creativity break. Registration is required, and you can visit dementiainclusiveinc.org. Please join Aging Well Durham on Wednesday, September 28th from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. at Duke Memorial UMC, located at 504 West Chapel Hill Street, to receive updates on the Durham Aging Plan, enjoy tabletop activities and refreshments. Registration is also required for this event, and you can contact 919-599-9642 for additional information. The Durham Chapel Hill Carborough Metropolitan Planning Organization is seeking public comment on its fiscal year 24 through 2033 Transportation Improvement Plan, Amendment number 4. Public comment will be open through Wednesday, September 18th, and for details you can visit dchcmpo.org. The 49th Annual Centerfest will be held in downtown Durham on Saturday, September 21st and Sunday, September 22nd. The event is free with a $5 suggested donation at the gate. Donations support the festival and the arts in Durham. This event from the Durham Arts Council brings together the Durham community each fall with the signature festival arts or Fine Arts Festival. For more information, you can visit durhamarts.org/Centerfest. Join the Soil and Water Conservation Districts from Durham, Orange, and Person County for the 2024 Tri-County Pasture Field Day on Thursday, September 26th from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. at Gates Farm, located at 3735 Jefferson Gates Place in Hurdle Mills. The event is free, but registration is required, and the deadline is Wednesday, September 18th. You can register at orangecounty.nc.gov/tri-county, or you can call 919-560-0558. And lastly, the Durham County Department of Public Health has updated the COVID-19 vaccines available by phone in the upcoming weeks at a date to be determined for all people aged 6 months and older. The clinic is located at 414 East Main Street, and appointments will be required. There are no walk-ins. The FDA has authorized a new booster. Previous doses are no longer authorized. For more information, you can visit decopublichealth.org/COVID vaccines. You can also visit to pick up free tests. That concludes the announcements in tonight's agenda.
Thank you so much, Madam Clerk. I'm going to go around the board to see if anyone has additional announcements. We will start with Commissioner Howerton.
Thank you. We will not have a meeting on the 11th of this month, and 9/11 is upon us. And as I watched the news on yesterday and watched the families talk about the 370 persons with an additional 28 added to the death toll of our first responders, and just want to lift them up and acknowledge all that they provided during that time. They gave their lives, and they continue to fight for us, and just wanted to lift them up at this meeting, given that we won't have a meeting on the 11th.
Thank you. Commissioner Carter, any announcements?
No announcements, Madam Chair, from me.
Okay. I only have like one quick one. One, I already did this. One, I thank you so much, Commissioner Howerton. And also, I won't say the name out of respect for the family, but we did lose an employee today also. I'm asking everyone, let's be kind to each other. We don't just lose people in big mass ways. Sometimes we lose very dedicated employees. So, if we would not mind for about 2 seconds, if we could have a moment of silence, I would appreciate it. Thank you. Additionally, I did bring this up during work session. Congratulations to the North Carolina Central University football team on winning the Orange Bowl Classic. Next, I know we lost on Saturday, but we won the week before last, so I thought I'd throw that in there. Also, I want to point out, for many of us did have the opportunity to go to the Pauli Murray Center this weekend for its grand opening. In the event you have not had the opportunity to walk around and look at the work that this courageous individual did as it pertains to social justice, civil rights, women's rights, rights for people of color, I encourage you to go. I know I don't know who all. I know I saw Commissioner Jacobs there, but it is open. They are on Carroll Street. I also want to throw out there, as we're thinking about things that are going on in the world, this board. I'm not going to put all the commentary that I put online, but this board has historically supported our schools. And today, while as a state employee myself, we still do not have a budget. But what they did have time to do was come back to Raleigh today and vote to give out hundreds of millions of dollars in private school vouchers. Hundreds of millions. They didn't vote on a budget. I think they also moved I don't know if the sheriff is here, they moved $1.1 billion to make all sheriff's departments now work with ICE. It is now a requirement. So these are the things that we've gone an entire summer and didn't have anything. And if anybody is curious about how that might impact Durham, as always, I have numbers. So the school voucher use here in Durham County, North Carolina, now this is from the North Carolina Department of Administration, Division of Non-Public Education. This is 2024 data. In Durham County, 2,756 students, parents, actually applied for vouchers. 904 of them were renewals. 1,852 of them were new. 29 schools will be affected. All told, with those 904 renewals, those 1,852 new ones, that is $12,852 that will be going to private schools, and we still don't have the funding for Leandro. So I would just like to impress upon everyone, this board has gone out of its way to do what it can for our students and for our teachers. The folks in Raleigh have not. I will not have the privilege of sitting in this chair a year from now. I won't have the privilege of sitting in this chair 90 days from now. When people come to you and want to abuse the men and women on this board because of what is going on in the school system, I hopefully and respectfully request that you send them to Raleigh. And do not make our employees have to sacrifice the things that are coming out of their offices for one more year. So that's all I have to say about that. Other than that, we will move on now to Commissioner Jacobs. No, I was going to get you. I thought I had to say. That's Commissioner Jacobs with her announcements as well.
Thank you. I just wanted to share, I know it's coming up in a few weeks, but just to get it on people's radar, there are a number of meetings for the revision of our UDO, our Unified Development Ordinance. This is a really big deal because we have not revised our ordinances in about 20 years, and this is really going to be the implementation of the comprehensive land use plan that we just approved, that people spent years providing input on. So it's a really big deal. It's really going to be the laws and the ordinances that implement the plan. And so I just want to encourage people to go to a website called engagedurham.com that has a way that you can get information about a lot of things that are happening around planning and land use. But if you click on the UDO picture, it will tell you that there's going to be a number of in-person sessions for people to give input into our draft ordinances. And the first one is October 1st, 5:30 p.m. at East Regional Library. The second will be on October 5th, and I'm sorry, that's at 5:30 p.m. Saturday, October 5th at 10 a.m. at South Regional Library. Then there's going to be a Zoom, a virtual one on Tuesday, October 22nd at 6 p.m. Then Saturday, November 9th at 10:30 a.m. at North Regional Library. And finally, on Tuesday, November 19th at 5:30 p.m. at Main Library. So trying to get around the county at all of the libraries. And I see Nayo here, so I'm going to hold my comments about, will you be mentioning the welcoming events this week? Perfect. So we'll hear more about some upcoming events this week in Durham. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And no, I'm not trying to go after somebody to get the last one. I promise. Now remember, see, when I get on my diatribe about the schools, I forgot. I got this from Dr. Lewis, so I can't even take credit for this. Raise your hand if you can drive. Raise your hand real high. I'd like for everybody to clap for our new school bus drivers. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for volunteering. There was a prayer breakfast for the school superintendent this weekend, and that was one of the things that he made everybody in the audience do. He said, raise your hand. He said, and he admitted he is also now a parent of students in Durham Public Schools, and he's the superintendent, and guess what? The bus dropped his kids off at the wrong place. Picked them up, that's the superintendent. So I did not know this until I was at this meeting. It takes about 6 weeks to get your CDLs. Durham County is actually one of the few places where they have a pilot where they can actually get that done for you in about 2 months. On top of that 2 months, they actually pay for the CDL class. So if you know somebody, I can sit up here and complain about some of the problems in Durham Public Schools, but I'm also, as always, trying to fix them because it's about the kids. And I don't think anybody wants kids not being picked up. I don't think anybody wants kids being dropped off in the wrong place. So if you do know somebody, Durham Public Schools is paying for the CDL training. It is a truncated course so that we can make sure our babies can get to school and they're not hungry or hangry and missing valuable class time. That's my plug. I think I'm going to go ahead and give it over to the manager now because we're in ceremonial items. We don't have a proclamation for this one. I see that Tobin is here, and we're doing recognition of $1.5 million grant award to create and implement the Energy Burden and Emissions Reductions Program. Tobin, you got a check. Oh, I like when you bring me checks now.
You brought it.
Go for it.
Good evening. Thank you so much, commissioners.
Pause. Hold on, because people are talking and not telling me what the issue is. The issue is me, and I'm excited. Could I get a motion to approve the minutes? Thank you. Do I have a second?
Second.
It was, motion was made by Commissioner Carter. It was seconded by Commissioner Jacobs. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
The ayes have it, so the motion passes. Now, we will talk about that $1.5 million check that Tobin had.
We're all excited to talk about it. Thank you so much, commissioners and manager and staff and visitors. I'm so pleased to be here tonight. My name is Tobin Freed. I'm the sustainability manager for the county. And first, I'd like to just say how much we appreciate all of your support for the sustainability program. Durham County, I feel very lucky working here for a board that is so supportive, so thank you so much for that. We are very excited to be here tonight to share a little bit about this impactful grant and to present the county with a ceremonial check. This funding is through the competitive portion of the Energy Efficiency and Conservation Block Grant Program, part of the landmark Climate Action Law, the Inflation Reduction Act, which is a name that doesn't make it sound like it's about climate, but it's really the most, a landmark law about climate that will have huge impacts for this country to meet its goals for climate action, as well as state and local governments. And this was signed into law by President Biden in August 2022. So not that long ago, and it's already having a lot of impact. We were one of 12 awardees of this funding and the largest one in the country. And I'm particularly pleased that we've been able to partner with Orange County and Granville County on this to really have a regional approach. That's really been a lot of fun, and we're learning a lot from them as well. So this program is called the Energy Burden and Emissions Reduction Program, which we refer to as EBURP. It's memorable. This grant aligns with the county's goals to reduce greenhouse gas emissions and increase renewable energy in the community. And it also aligns with our goals to make housing more affordable by reducing energy burden. And energy burden is the percentage of income households spend on energy. And by reducing those energy costs, they then have more money that they can spend on things that they need to spend money on. So helping people make their homes more efficient results in these lower energy bills, and that's what we're working towards. And now I'd really love to introduce Megan Pendell. She's the county's sustainability specialist, the other half of the sustainability office. She's been with us just a little over a year and has been instrumental in us getting this grant, and now will be the program manager for that grant.
Thank you, Tobin. Thanks, everyone. It's so exciting to be here tonight and speak to you for the first time. Speaking of lowering energy bills, that's a big part of the goal of the program of EBURP. It's to address energy burden, to reduce greenhouse gas emissions, to improve housing conditions, and enhance resilience through residential energy efficiency retrofits. So these upgrades are designed to lower those energy bills. And we are taking a neighborhood approach on this across 3 counties. So the goal is to upgrade at least 200 total homes, and the retrofits will actually be at no cost for income qualified homeowners and households. The timeline is it's a 3-year period, and we expect the work to start on homes to be about sometime the first half of 2025. So one thing I'm really excited about with this program are all of our project partners. We are taking a whole systems approach and have a really amazing, diverse team of project partners. And I want to just get this opportunity to thank John Kiefer, who is the grants administrator for the county, and he has just done so much for us already. So thank you, John. We also have partners who will be supporting us for marketing and community engagement, loan services, data collection and analysis, contractor management, and a specially designed contractor training curriculum for all of our contractors just for EBURP. So really excited about that. And another thing I'm really excited about is we are going to be bringing on neighborhood ambassadors. So again, we're approaching this from a neighborhood level, right? And so we are going to be employing residents from those neighborhoods to become neighborhood ambassadors. And we are going to offer them a stipend to help us promote recruit participants, and even host community DIY workshops that anyone can participate in. And in addition, we're maintaining a resource hub throughout the program of other programs and resources where we can connect residents based on their needs, whether or not they are participating in the program. So you can find out more on our website at greenerdurham.net under the Community Resources tab. And one last thing. On top of the $1.5 million that Department of Energy is funding, they're also funding a community energy fellow for 18 months, so half of the program time for support. And so we just welcomed on that community energy fellow 2 weeks ago. This is her 3rd week now, and we have welcomed Sally. So excited to have her on board. And now, if it's okay with you, we'd like to present a giant check.
Yeah, I'm coming to get it. Is Sally coming up as well? I was going to say she should if she's our fellow. Let's be clear. So Sally. Thank you. Perry Mans, John Kiefer. I'm on my way. Hold on. All right, I'm also going to open it up to commissioner comments as well. We started on the last side. This time we will start with Commissioner Jacobs.
Well, first of all, congratulations to you all. This is so exciting. And the way that you just described the program and the approach is really incredible on every level, a true systems approach. I did have a question, so sorry you just sat down. When you said it was going to be a neighborhood approach, my question is, do you have a neighborhood that it has been identified? And also, how many households in Durham do you think will benefit from this? Because I know it's a multi-county regional approach.
That is an excellent question, and we are really excited to learn the answer to them ourselves. So, Department of Energy, we are allowed to begin the planning of the program and figuring out the answers to those questions once we have the contract signed. So we're getting a big leap ahead of that tonight, and we really appreciate getting that approval so that once we do receive the contract, which is expected this month, then we can move forward with that. But I don't know, do you have any other?
Yeah. So there will be criteria that we'll establish on what those neighborhoods will look like. As you may know, President Biden has put a strong emphasis on Justice 40 communities that are communities that have been identified as being under-resourced in a lot of different ways. So there are, I believe, 23 or 26 of those census blocks just in Durham County, and priorities will be in those areas. Orange County doesn't have any J40, and Granville has, I think, 6 or 8, something like that. So we will be focusing in those areas, but we haven't narrowed down exactly what those neighborhoods will be. This is going to be a phased approach, so we're going to start with maybe 5 neighborhoods and then work our way through over the 3-year period. And as far as the number of households in Durham, I would say of the 200, a majority of them are going to be in Durham because we do have a higher population and a higher number of Justice 40, but we don't have an exact this many for Durham, this many for Orange, this many for Granville. But I would say more than half of those will be in Durham, likely.
Sorry, one more just quick follow-up. Will they have to be owner occupied? Okay, they can be renter occupied.
Yeah, we are very
Okay.
excited to work with landlords. They will have to abide by certain requirements to not then raise rent or flip the houses and things like that. We want to make sure that this is stabilizing neighborhoods and not destabilizing them.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
And also, I want to thank you so much for that. And I don't know if you did and I missed it. Did you define J40? Because if not, I want to define it for the audience. You did? Okay.
Please go ahead.
Okay, no. So for some folks, because we actually, one good example is our convenience center that we now have. So for the first time in history, I heard you say president. I was reading something, so I do apologize. For those who don't know what J40 is, it's Justice 40. It is where the president signed an executive order stating that certain federal climate, affordable housing, sustainability, energy funds, and bills needed to 40% of the funding and the work need to be done in disadvantaged neighborhoods. So I know that and it's convenience center, but the recycling center that we now have that's in Northeast Central Durham is in a Justice 40 neighborhood. It's in a black neighborhood. And so I am appreciative because I think sometimes when we think about climate, when we think about certain issues, we don't think about them affecting us when we think, oh no, well, this house didn't have the best glass, this house didn't have the best wood, and so there's a reason why your heating bill is a lot higher than your neighbors. So however we can aid in retrofitting your home so that your bill is not way higher than everybody else's just because yours is older or because you didn't have the money to buy something else. So I'm super excited about this and how we can funnel funds into some of our neighborhoods that don't necessarily know about this. And the split between the counties, did everybody get 1.5 or?
It's 1.5 for the total program.
Okay, that's what I thought,
Yeah.
right? And so,
We applied together as a
Right.
team.
okay, cool beans.
Yeah.
I just want us to make sure we use 1.25 million of it, but thank you so much. Does anyone else on the board? I know Commissioner Carter, this is your bailiwick, so go for it.
Wow, I don't know if it's my bailiwick. That might be one of the nicest things anybody ever said to me, though.
Your wheelhouse.
No, well, I wanted to start by saying thank you to President Biden,
Yes.
and for his leadership under his administration for getting this law passed and for making this money available to communities, and for recognizing the importance of focusing on environmental equity, not just environmental sustainability and resilience and all of the things that we believe in, but the equity issue too. If we were going to run this agenda item through a decision-making framework to look at racial equity, economic equity, environmental equity, we would score high, I think, and so we're going to be doing that in the future. So just really want to thank all of our team, Megan, Tobin, John, and Sally, the work you're going to be doing, anyone, all the hard work you had to put in to secure this grant. That's fantastic. The largest in the nation. Yes. I mean, that's amazing. And I can see why. The neighborhood ambassadors that you're going to be employing basically to do outreach in the communities to be sure that those who need this the most receive it. It just really is a demonstration of our commitment to equity, the environment, resiliency, and affordable housing, as you say, because we're going to be reducing their costs through these retrofits. Just absolutely fantastic. It is a little ironic that it's called e-burp, because I do think every time we pass any kind of gaseous emissions that includes methane, so there you go, you got the burp.
That's true.
Just saying.
It's e-burp. It's efficient. E-burp.
Efficient burps.
Commissioner Howerton.
So I would like to offer my appreciation as well, Tobin, Megan, your team. Thank you for this is an exciting grant. And one of the things that's really great is to have people in the administration in DC. That's all I'm gonna say about that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well said, ladies. Thank you. I think this time, if you go to your seats, we will not be calling you back. We are going to move on to our next ceremonial item. There are 5. I know that we did pass them out. I'm not sure who has it, but the next proclamation is World Alzheimer's and Dementia Awareness. Commissioner Law might have given that one to herself. Okay, gotcha. Okay. Commissioner Howerton, the floor is yours.
So I'll turn that on. Thank you. Time to act on Alzheimer's and challenges the perception many people, including healthcare professionals, still hold that dementia is a normal part of aging. And whereas dementia is a symptom in which there is deterioration in memory, thinking, behavior, and the ability to perform everyday activities. Alzheimer's is the most common cause of dementia. And whereas dementia is the 7th leading cause of death worldwide, the 6th leading cause for North Carolina, and whereas evidence suggests that when people with dementia and their families are well prepared and supported, shock, anger, and grief are balanced by reassurance and empowerment. Whereas Durham County supports the vision of a dementia-inclusive community where all persons with dementia are valued and fully supported in their pursuit of quality of life and well-being. And whereas Durham County invites you to join in partnerships, collaboration, and advocacy efforts to promote well-being, inclusion, and health equity for persons with dementia. Now, therefore, be it resolved that I, Netta Alam, Chair, on behalf of the Board of County Commissioners, do hereby proclaim September 21, 2024 as World Alzheimer's Awareness Day in Durham County, North Carolina. We commend this observance and urge everyone to join with Dementia Inclusive, Inc. to support persons with dementia and their caregivers on September 21st and throughout the year, this 9th day of September 24. Durham County Commissioners.
Thank you so much, Commissioner Houghton. Before we go to the board for commissioner comments, I see that our resource person is Susan Sewell. Susan, would you step up to the mic with any comments? Thank you so much.
Thank you, Commissioners. And hello, neighbors. My name is Susan Sewell, and I'm a board member for Dementia Inclusive, Inc. We aim to build a community culture of well-being, inclusion, health equity, and hope for persons at risk of or living with dementia and their care partners in Durham County. Creating this type of culture will require all of us to work together. Thank you for issuing a proclamation again to help celebrate this day. And Dementia Inclusive, Inc. participates in World Alzheimer's Day by holding a forum each September. We hear presentations and meet in small groups to seek connections among people and organizations addressing dementia needs in Durham County. In last year's forum, I saw a HEART team member express concern that they did not have a way to get somebody, they had spoken in a crisis and they resolved the crisis, but they thought there needed to be a long-term attention to this person, but how did they get them in touch with DSS? And an EMT person in the audience popped up and said, we have folks licensed to do home assessments, so you can call us and give us that information and we can connect them with DSS. That's the kind of connections we're hoping for. This year's forum is on September 20th at Durham Convention Center, echoing this year's international theme, Time to Act on Dementia, Time to Act on Alzheimer's. We sent commissioners an invitation. You heard an announcement today, and I hope to see some of you there. If anyone can find more information and register on our website, www.dementiainclusiveinc.org. Dementia Inclusive is working with Aging Well Durham to continue connecting sectors to respond to the needs of those with dementia. DSS is now gathering information about dementia in their health assessments. 2 more connections we have done. Finally, I am more aware each year as I do this work that services and accommodations needed by those living with dementia, things like bigger letters on signs, training customer contact folks to be patient and find ways to say things differently or without jargon, make our community more accessible for most of us. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And as she stated, there are a number of events that might be going on, and we will have those on our social media. Am I correct? Okay, yeah, I'm looking at our Director of Communications. It's also on our agenda. I will go to the board now with anyone with comments. Commissioner Jacobs.
Thank you so much, Susan, for bringing us the proclamation. I also serve on the board of directors for Dementia Inclusive Incorporated, and I wanted to just stress that this forum is, if you are not able to pay the fee of $20 for the forum, it is free for anyone who cannot afford that fee. We want to remove any barriers. Also, lunch will be provided. And there's one other thing I wanted to emphasize about it. Okay, I can't remember, but there will be a lot of different workshops, and it's always a really fun, engaging event for our community, and we really encourage everyone to participate. We have business owners who come, church members. I mean, we all either know people in our lives who are suffering from dementia or people who are our neighbors in our community. And it's really important that we learn about how we can really support each other, caregivers, families, and also the things that we can do to help prevent and even help improve outcomes related to dementia. So just want to encourage everyone to come out on September 20th. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I have Commissioner Houghton next.
Oh, thank you. I just want to lift up what is the number of seniors that will be in the state of North Carolina? I don't remember the number, but the state is growing very fast. So when we think about Alzheimer's, we think about old people. It's not always old people. So just kind of wrap your mind around that. It don't have to be old people. It can happen to any of us.
Thank you so much, Commissioner. Did you?
I just quickly want to say thanks to Susan and the others in the community who are going to be working on leading this effort to acknowledge Alzheimer's Awareness Month. And there really is a information gap still, and that people do believe that dementia is just a natural part of aging. I've felt that within my own family, and it was transformative, honestly, the fact that there was this stigma and that there were people in my family that believed that was the case, and it made it had a really negative impact. So I think this is super, super important for us to do all we can to spread the word that there are ways to prevent dementia. Wendy mentioned that, so I'm glad that is part of the conference too. But just want to recognize Dementia Inclusive, Inc., is that the right term? Mm-hmm. And Susan and all the other leaders who are putting on this important program. Thanks.
Thank you so much. Also, throughout the year in our newsletter, they actually do have caregiver opportunities. So I think sometimes we think about the individual, but the person who is supporting this individual, as a caregiver, you need support too. So please be on the lookout in our county manager's newsletter for those additional opportunities. For our next proclamation, we have Durham Celebrates Recovery. And am I right, Commissioner Carter? Okay, that one is you.
It is. Durham Board of County Commissioners Proclamation, Durham Celebrates Recovery 2024. Whereas behavioral health is now considered as an essential part of one's overall health and well-being, and whereas recovery from mental and substance use disorders occurs every day through a variety of prevention, recovery support resources, and treatment programs, people in recovery strive to achieve healthy lifestyles, stable homes, meaningful daily activities, stronger neighborhoods, and contribute in positive ways to the larger community. And whereas the burden of brain disorders in the United States is among the highest of all diseases and among the most common cause of disability, recent figures indicate that about 25% of all adults experience symptoms of a mental disorder every year. Mental health disorders also affect children and adolescents at an increasingly alarming rate, and people with untreated mental health disorders are at high risk for many unhealthy and unsafe behaviors, including alcohol and drug misuse, violent or self-destructive behavior, and suicide. In addition, accidental overdose deaths, primarily due to fentanyl, continue to plague our nation, as fentanyl is now combined with many other drugs. Given these statistics, we must strive to reduce the stigma associated with brain disorders, with the goal that the larger community will learn to view them as we would any other chronic medical condition, such as diabetes or hypertension. And whereas to help more people achieve and sustain long-term recovery, the Recovery Community of Durham invites all residents of Durham County, North Carolina, to participate in National Recovery Month. Now, therefore, be it resolved, I, Nitha Alam, Chair, and on behalf of the Durham Board of County Commissioners, do hereby proclaim the month of September 2024 as National Recovery Month in Durham, North Carolina, and call upon the people of Durham County to observe this month with appropriate programs, activities, and ceremonies to celebrate people in recovery and those who support them. Everyone's journey is different, but we are all in this together. This 9th day of September 2024.
Thank you so much, Commissioner Carter. Well said, well read. Now, we also have a later proclamation where we're doing Recovery Month 2024. So if I don't call you up as a resource person, it's because you're later. So our resource person for this proclamation is Mr. Robert Thomas of Recovery Community of Durham. Could you please come to the, we have two other folks. Please, please, please. Thank you so much.
Good evening. My name is Trudy Harris Sadeo, and I am a long-term resident of Durham. I want to thank you, commissioners, for the long-term support that you've provided RCOD. I am a member of RCOD, and we are working very diligently to host a Recovery Month celebration that will be held on September the 27th from 5:30 to 8:30 at 1209 North Elizabeth Street. As in the past, it is an open and free event to the public. We will have food, music, dancing. We will have community resources, organizations, and agencies present for anybody who needs to get information about services. They will be there for the public to respond to. Again, we know that this year's recovery theme is recovery is for everyone. Every person, every family, every community. And we know that when individuals commit and embrace recovery, not only do they grow and have better lives, but their families, their communities also are recipients of this growth. So as I have worked in the area of substance abuse for many years, I've seen how individuals who struggle with addiction and substance use and mental health disorders have become stable and productive citizens and have become a tremendous resource to our communities. So we want you to come out and participate with us on September the 27th from 5:30 to 8:30 at 1209 North Elizabeth Street and enjoy and seeing how we do recover and we do lead lives that are productive and that are great assets to the community and to the country as large. Thank you. Any questions?
Well, thank you. I do have one from Commissioner Carter, but yes, I do hope everyone comes out on Commissioner Jacobs. Commissioner Jacobs?
Yes, and I'm sorry, I missed some of your comments. Do you have some information that you could send right now to our clerk?
So we can post
so
it?
that we could include it in our announcements from tonight about the event, the location, the time, and things like that, or a flyer, something that we could include?
We don't have a flyer yet, but we can get that to you with,
We just don't have them here.
to tonight, and we will be happy to get. This is Michelle, who is also a member and staff person at RCOD, and so,
And I usually come and receive this, but I thank God for the board members that could come. And usually I do bring the flyers, but I roll with someone else and they're in my car. But I will make sure you guys get the information.
Okay, just we can include it in the minutes from our meeting, and it will help get it out. Thank you so much.
thank you. And remember, it's the 27th of September from 5:30 to 8:30.
Look, yes, 1209 North Elizabeth Street, food, music, and dance, and I typed it down. After you said it twice, I said, that's an instruction. Yes, ma'am. It is free. And thank you so much for your testimony. And you all, let's support our neighbors as they strive to recover. We will be moving on to our next proclamation, Durham County Welcoming Week 2024. I see. Okay.
That's me.
It is. I was about to say, okay, perfection. Okay. Dr. Sowell has that one.
Whereas Welcoming Week was launched in 2012 by Welcoming America as an annual campaign and celebration to showcase the movement of communities striving to be more welcoming places for all, including immigrants. And whereas U.S. Census data reflects that 14.7% of the County of Durham's population is foreign-born, compared to 13.5% of the nation's population being foreign-born. And whereas Welcoming Week provides individuals and communities the opportunity to proclaim and exercise their welcoming values through events and initiatives that build stronger relationships between native-born and foreign-born residents. And whereas the County of Durham strives to be a welcoming, diverse, and innovative community that prioritizes racial equity and ensuring that those who have been historically excluded from decision-making have a voice. And whereas the County of Durham aims to strengthen their foundation and improve the quality of life for all residents through their commitment to foster communities that are connected, engaged, and diverse. Now, therefore, I, Nitha Alum, Chair, and on behalf of the Durham County Board of County Commissioners, do hereby proclaim September 13th through 22nd, 2024 as Welcoming Week in Durham County and urge all residents to intentionally seek opportunities to remove individual, institutional, and systemic barriers so that Durham County is a place where all residents, regardless of their origin of birth, are welcome and have a sense of belonging. This, the 9th day of September 2024, Nitha Alum Chair, Durham Board of County Commissioners.
Thank you so much, Dr. Sowell. And I also see coming up now for Welcoming Weekend, let us also welcome back our chairs, Mr. Niall. But Niall, I saw you trying to beckon to some people to come up to the microphone. Should we invite them formally? Please. Yes, I think so. Who are the individuals that he wants to come up there with him? Thank you.
Come on, don't be shy.
Thank you. Because if we're going to welcome you, we're going to welcome you. Right.
I came back just in time for you, Niall.
Right, right. So it's all on you, Chair.
Donna, I believe you should be up there as well.
Good. All right. Good evening, everyone. My name is Nayo. I am the Durham County, Durham City Immigrants and Refugee Affairs Coordinator, and I am not taking the microphone today to talk on behalf of everyone here. I'm going to say a little bit, and I will leave the space for them to talk as well. So I would like to take this opportunity to say my deepest appreciation to the board and also the city council for creating this position that help bridge the communities, the foreign-born in Durham. And as you said, 14.4%, that's approximately 46,000 folks. That's huge. And if you compare Durham to other counties, we are way in advance. And that says a lot about the work we're doing here. And as you can see, we work in unity to make sure that we serve our immigrant and refugee community here in Durham. With this, I will just step to the side and let everyone who collaborate in this to have a speech. Maria?
Hi, everybody. Thank you for the opportunity. I'm Maria Padilla. I am the Bilingual Community Engagement Strategist in the City of Durham for the Department of Neighborhood Improvement Services. And I'm part of the community engagement group. We have been celebrating Welcoming Week for now 3 years, although I am only 2 years in the city, so I've been lucky to just be in 2 of those. So this year we wanted to continue one successful event that we created last year that we think is very helpful for the immigrant and refugee community, and this is a job, career, and resource fair. So we're planning to offer to the community the opportunity to learn how to apply for jobs in the city and understand how it is United States in terms of like job resources and how apply for those. So we're hoping that this opportunity help these communities to get all the tools that they need so they can succeed in this journey here in this country. And on top of that, we're also going to have a couple of workshops to help them to understand different other topics, as well as other organizations around Durham who help these communities and hoping to offer more resources about that. So this time I also had the opportunity to do this work in support of the county. Last year it was a city and pretty much the department work, but this time we were very lucky to have the well-being department supporting this effort, and so now this is a county and city effort and organization, and we hope that we continue doing the same way for the next year. You want to say something?
I really wasn't going to speak because my proclamation about Hispanic Heritage Month is next, but the Office of Equitable Wellbeing was also a county partner to Welcoming Week. Cassandra's not here, but she was the person that represented our department pretty heavily on this team, and so I'm glad that she was involved in this work, and we were happy to be partners to Welcoming Week, and I'm glad that Nayo invited us on to this team, and we're happy to engage in the work.
And Dr. Lewis, before you step aside, can you also share some of the resources that you just shared with us at our work session that are going to be joining your office?
We are happy to say that we are bringing on a provisional language access coordinator to join the Office of Equitable Wellbeing that will continue to partner with the work that Nayo is doing in his office as well.
Well, Maria pointed out the resource fair. But on Saturday, we are organizing the Durham International Football, or I would say soccer. I don't know which one. Well, let's go soccer in America. So we had that game last year. It was well attended. And this year, as you can see, we have a lot of folks who signed up, and they're from different countries, from England to Syria, to Bangladesh, to South America countries. And if you join us on Saturday, you're going to see some skills. It's going to be really, really good. Football or soccer, as you know, is a very unifying activity. And we will have people born in Durham and people born out of the U.S. getting together and having fun as a whole community. We're very excited and looking forward to enjoying the event on Saturday. That's going to be at the Hendon Park.
And there's one more
in addition
event, right?
to the soccer, we also going to have a small resource fair. We ask department that usually work with immigrants and refugees, department at the city and the county, to have a table where people can come and get to learn what they're doing and connect with them, get some resources and go from there. 'Cause we know some folks are reticent to come to the department. Now we're bringing the department to them to see how that's going to work. Thank you.
Can I ask you one more question now? Because I remember at the Cooperative Extension Open House, you were quizzing all of us, and I already forgot the answers. But if you could remind us of how many countries are represented in Durham County, and also I think you may have had how many languages are spoken. That we know of.
Yes, there are around 19% of the population that speak other language than English at home, and I am one of them. So if sometime I'm speaking and I take a break, that means French wants to come in, and that means some African language wants to come in.
Thank you so much, Niall. Thank you to all of our immigrant and refugee community members. As an immigrant myself, I appreciate all of the services and the ways that you make Durham the vibrant, beautiful community that it is. I sometimes, actually, Niall, when I first moved to the States, I only spoke French and Urdu, because I grew up in a French-Canadian school and only spoke Urdu at home. So when I moved here, I only spoke Furdu and had to go through ESL to learn English, and now I forgot all of my French. But it's so great to see this type of diversity in our community, because like with me and my children, they are partially Indian, partially Pakistani, partially Bangladeshi, reuniting the entire region. And we want to take on and carry on that tradition that our family instilled in us of only speaking Urdu at home and teaching our children these languages. So thank you for also carrying on this legacy with your children, and then please spread it to all of us, share opportunities for us to enjoy your culture so I can share my culture with y'all, and we can all celebrate the diversity that is Durham. Any other colleagues? Commissioner Jacobs?
I just want to say thank you to you all. I love the idea of this being welcoming week, and I hope that we can be welcoming every single day as well for Durham. I am so proud of our community that it is a welcoming place. We want to be a place where everybody can thrive, and honestly, it is the diversity of our community that makes Durham a vibrant place to live. So thank you for all that you each do to bring people together and make people feel welcome. Nayo, I think you might know something about football. It is my understanding in previous conversations. Maybe people don't know your past.
Yes. I used to get paid to play that good.
Yes.
So you were a professional.
In his home country.
No. I was an amateur, not professional. Just.
But love brought him here, so, that's what happens. And if you could, Naya, also just remind us the resource fair, when that is, and where, and what time.
Right. We have two resource fairs, a mini resource fair at the soccer event, and the main resource fair that is led by Maria and the Office of Equitable Wellbeing. Then that's going to be on Tuesday, the 17th at the CWS's office on 504 Chapel Hill Street, yes.
Okay, great. And something I don't think people may not realize is that in Durham Public Schools, the percentage actually exceeds 14%. I know that Jordan High School, for example, I believe it's like a third of the students are refugees and immigrants and speak another language at home. So it's really incredible. And we're really fortunate to have a community like this. Thank you.
Yeah, we really thank you for the policies that you all are behind, and that makes this place more inclusive and more welcoming for everyone. So, thank you.
Thank you, Maya. Okay.
No, that's not.
Nope. I will now pass it to Commissioner Jacobs for National Hispanic Heritage Month.
Durham Board of County Commissioners Proclamation, National Hispanic Heritage Month 2024. Whereas National Hispanic Heritage Month, known as Mes de Herencia Hispana, has been celebrated from September 15th to October 15th since 1988. And whereas the annual celebration recognizes the diverse histories, cultures, and contributions of American citizens whose ancestors have come from Spain, Mexico, the Caribbean, and Central and South America. And whereas generations of Hispanic and Latinx Americans have supported and improved our county and community by serving and working in vital professions such as education, the medical field, the military, our government, and more. And whereas North Carolina is home to more than 1 million residents of Hispanic or Latinx descent, and more than 65 million Latinx individuals contribute to communities across the country. And whereas our communities are made stronger when we recognize our diversity and work to honor, understand, and appreciate the history, achievements, art, music, cuisine, customs, unique traditions, and cultures of our friends, family, and neighbors who represent the Hispanic and Latinx communities. And whereas we simultaneously celebrate the Hispanic and Latinx community as a whole this month, we also recognize and honor the incredible diversity of the Hispanic Latinx population, while we recognize the role members of these communities in shaping and enriching our society. Now, therefore, I, Nida Alam, Chair, and on behalf of the Durham Board of County Commissioners, do hereby proclaim September 15th through October 15th, 2024, as National Hispanic Heritage Month in Durham County, and urge all residents to celebrate National Hispanic Heritage Month by honoring generations of Hispanic and Latinx residents who have made our nation strong and prosperous with their essential contributions to Durham County, North Carolina, and beyond. This, the 9th day of September, 2024.
Thank you on behalf of the Office of Equitable Wellbeing, our residents, and our employees. I will say that the Welcoming Week events, which are public, are connected to our Hispanic Heritage Month, Awareness Month events. We also, from the Office of Equitable Wellbeing, will host a language access simulation event on October 7th for our employees as an awareness event. In addition, you can visit the Office of Equitable Wellbeing's website to learn about events that are happening both locally in Durham as well as in Raleigh, as we try to bring awareness to the events that are happening in the community, because we believe that learning, growing, and developing happens across our communities. So that is the information that I have. Thank you for the information that you bring, and I'm happy to answer questions if anyone has any.
Seeing none, just want to thank you again for all of the work that your office is doing. And we appreciate seeing, for folks who missed it at our work session on whenever last Monday
week.
was. the way that these proclamations also impact our county employees, of being seen and recognized and having their culture and heritage recognized. Just really appreciate the way that you bring that to the forefront.
Thank you.
Dr. Lewis. Now I will bring us to, I think that's our last proclamation of Recovery Month with Vice Chair Burns.
Durham Board of County Commissioners Proclamation, Durham Recovery Month 2024. Whereas behavioral health is now recognized as an essential part of one's overall health and well-being, and whereas the theme of National Recovery Month is recovery, health, and healing, and whereas the cost of not encouraging substance use recovery is significant for individuals, families, neighborhoods, and the community at large, and whereas the behavioral health of every citizen is essential to the emotional and economic prosperity of our families, communities, and businesses, and whereas substance use disorders affect people of all ages, races, ethnicities, and socioeconomic backgrounds, and whereas in 2023, there were more than 4,000 suspected overdose deaths in North Carolina, and whereas prevention of substance use disorders works, treatment is effective, and recovery is possible. And whereas feelings of personal shame and fears of social stigma and discrimination prevent many living with substance use disorders from seeking help. And whereas untreated substance use disorders leads to legal problems, serious health issues, financial difficulties, and damage to personal relationships. And whereas stigma can be reduced by increasing awareness of treatment and the available resources for substance use disorders in the Durham County community, and whereas recovery is a process of change through which individuals improve their health and wellness, live a self-directed life, and strive to reach their full potential by building their strengths, talents, coping abilities, and community resources. And whereas we strive to create connections in Durham County that will support recovery by increasing access to treatment, educating ourselves and the community about the effectiveness and availability of treatment for substance use disorders. And whereas we strive to focus on stabilizing, educating, and providing hope for individuals in detention and in the community to speak up about their recovery needs and reach out for help. And whereas to help more people achieve and sustain long-term recovery, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration, and the White House Office of National Drug Control Policy and the Recovery Community of Durham invite all residents of Durham County, North Carolina to participate in the National Recovery Month. Now, therefore, I, Netta Alam, Chair, and on behalf of the Durham Board of County Commissioners, do hereby proclaim the month of September 2024 as Recovery Month in Durham County, and hereby call upon the people of Durham to observe this month with appropriate programs, activities, and ceremonies to celebrate people in recovery and those who support them. This the 9th day of September 2024.
I think we can ignore that because it says you may return home. Director Roshana Parker.
Good evening. Thank you, Commissioners. Thank you, County Manager. We're always excited with the Justice Services Department to come to you in September in recognition of Recovery Month. We come to celebrate the work not only of our department and other community partners that work very hard to address the issues of substance abuse and mental health, but we also come to acknowledge the accomplishments of those living with substance use disorder and mental health challenges. So I could stand here all night and talk to you about the work that we do at the Justice Services Department, but I thought it would be very, very good tonight for us to have one of our employees come and talk to you a little bit about why Recovery Month is so important. So with that, I introduce George O'Brien, and after Mr. O'Brien, we will have Renee Shaw talk to you about some of the Recovery Month events that we will be hosting.
Thank you, Roshana. As a state-certified clinician for substance use disorders, I'm honored for the opportunity to speak before you, County Commissioners, and to the community. Recovery Month is a refreshing celebration for our community to join in on the genuine efforts of people striving for holistic and pro-social change in their lives. Substance use disorders has become at the forefront of needed therapeutic interventions, such as evidence-based treatment and recovery practices. There continues to be a need for free and accessible short to intermediate term inpatient treatment in Durham. Recovery Month aims to highlight service providers, such as ourselves, the Justice Services Department, and community partners who make recovery in all its forms possible. Addiction to harmful and deadly illicit drugs and the misuse of prescription drugs has proven to be a detriment to families, children, and the community as a whole. Recovery is real. Recovery fosters restoration in dignity, integrity, trust, and hope in a person. I want to personally thank Durham County for providing ongoing support and resources for recovering persons across the county, especially those who come through the doors of the Justice Services Department. As a state certified alcohol and drug counselor, I myself know the full hand of the power of recovery and a strong support system. I was hired by Durham County in May of 2011. I've been with the county over 13 years. I myself, on July 14th, celebrated 20 years in recovery. So yesterday I had the opportunity to go and to share my story a little bit with the women at NCCIW, the North Carolina Correctional Institute for Women. And it was a moving time, a moving moment, but they needed to hear and see what recovery looks like, and they need to see an ambassador for hope in hopes that they can get out and reach out to these recovery resources. So I am just very honored and grateful for the support that you provide. And we as counselors, you know, we're in there and we're in the trenches with the clients day in and day out. And it's a challenging job, and but it's very rewarding. The percentages are not great as far as success stories. It's very tragic when we hear about overdoses and deaths, but it's always rewarding when we see people recover and continue to maintain their recovery by using the supports that we put in place. So drug court is a perfect example of that, when we see people successfully complete that and continue on with their lives. So once again, I'm honored to be here. Thank you for your support, and I'm very grateful for my director and my supervisor, Ms. Renee. So we'll continue to do the work. Thank you for your support.
Hello, I'm Renee Shaw, and I'm here just to give you a little information about events that will be occurring at the Justice Services Department. First of all, I would like to thank you for your support, and also thank our community partners for the support that they provide. Some of the events that we're going to provide this month include a harm reduction event where we're going to educate our clients on Narcan, make Narcan available to them, introduce them to how the Good Samaritan law, because one of the things that we'll see with our clients, you know, they're involved in the justice system, and sometimes when they see an overdose occurring, they be afraid to help a person because they're in the justice system themselves, thinking the police is going to come, the ambulance is going to come, and that could risk my freedom in the community. So we're going to have an event for that. We're going to have HIV, STI testing and education. We're also going to show some of the skills that some of our participants have learned by having Recovery Jeopardy, where we'll compete against each other, answer different questions. We'll have a triggers panel discussion where we'll have what you'll hear a lot in treatments, people, places, and things when you're talking about addiction. And we're going to have a panel discussion on those things so people who've actually experienced, who've gone through the system, who've gone through the justice system and experienced addiction.
And I just sent that calendar of events to Clerk Wallace. I don't know if she received it yet, but I just emailed it to her so that you all would have the dates and times. And for the presentation that happened earlier with the recovery communities of Durham, we will also participate in that event with them. And I think that event is also listed on our calendar.
You clearly knew what our first question was going to be, or whichever one of us got it. I did want to, thank you all so very much. Y'all saw me struggle through that proclamation. It is because words matter, because we're using our brains first. So some of y'all, I kept trying to say substance abuse, and I even had to train myself to say substance use because of the stigma that goes along. So every time I was reading faster, my brain was going faster than everything else. So even when we sit here, like it's work for everybody. I still call the Justice Services Center CJRC because I'm used to calling it that, but we don't want to put criminal there. So we're all a work in progress, and thank you so much for continuing to bring this stuff forward to us so that we can all continue to work on ourselves as well. And I look forward to supporting you all so that I can make sure I say substance use as opposed to substance abuse when I'm talking to folks, because I never strive to be offensive.
Commissioner Jacobs?
Yes, thank you so much to each of you and everybody on your team at the Justice Services Resource Center and Department. I'm so grateful for each of you and the work that you lead that is so important in Durham. Every single person, every single life is worthwhile and worth saving and impacts a whole family. It's not just one person. We're talking about families and neighborhoods. And, you know, we know now that peer support is the most important thing. We now call it peer support. You've been doing it for a long time, but we know that you are the expert. And that peer support specialists, people with lived experience, are the most effective in helping with recovery. So thank you. It sounds like you have amazing programming. That sounds really fun as well. So I look forward to getting that schedule and supporting the work that you're doing. And thank you again.
Commissioner Howerton?
Thank you. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Thank you so much for the work that you do. And this does have something to do with work. I'm just like just staring at you because the job has made you look younger.
Maybe it was the vacation.
Really? Gorgeous. Looking great.
Thank you.
So thank you. Yeah.
And I do want to take this last moment just to say thank you so much for your continued support, but I do want to thank George for all the work that he does and his experience and his willingness to always share his story and be that support that we need for clients that are struggling. His work is amazing. He's an awesome employee, and I just appreciate his dedication to the department. So I just want to say that publicly.
Commissioner Carter?
Well, I was just, we could end on that note. That was a beautiful note to end on. I was just quickly just going to say that I feel like one of the most important aspects of the work that you all are doing, and George, you really have a role to play in this, is helping to create and provide a safe space for recovery. It's really difficult and supportive. I mean, it's really difficult to recover. There are so many challenges to recovery. Addiction is hard to overcome, even when you have everything going for you. And so if it's someone coming out of the justice system facing all these additional barriers, they may not have a safe space for recovery that's supportive, and you all are providing that. And I just was struck by that today. Thank you.
And I just want to add, before you guys step aside, if there is anyone here who hasn't had an opportunity to go and tour the Justice Services office, this is under Gudrun, but Gudrun and Roshana took me on a tour, and it's really amazing to see all of the services that this one pretty small department is able to provide to our county residents. So take the time. I'm sure you can email Roshana. I'm sure she would welcome you in to come and see the space, because it's a really vital source, as my colleagues have stated, as the team has stated, for our Durham County residents, of not just the stigma, but also the barriers that exist for folks when it comes to getting health care and insurance, how you're impacted in the insurance industry by being someone who is recovering, how you're impacted in just job applications if it's led to being formerly incarcerated, how that impacts you. So just the services that you provide really do change people's lives. And I see our incoming Commissioner, Stephen Valentine, is here. I welcome you as well. And I will, Director Rashana will take you on a tour, but it's really, really important for everyone to have that opportunity. Thank you all so much for your work.
Thank you. Please come visit.
Yes. Okay. That concludes our ceremonial items and brings us to our consent agenda. Are there any items that any commissioner would like to pull? No.
Yeah. Not pull, but 30-second. I'm super.
10.
Okay. Hi, President Buxton. Congratulations on that $3 million that we're going to give you to do an expansion of your campus. And also, congratulations, Director Pierce, on the $2 million that we're going to utilize for homelessness services. I'm done.
10 seconds. Perfect. Okay, seeing no hands, is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
Okay. Moved by Commissioner Howerton, seconded by Commissioner Jacobs. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, we have approved the consent agenda unanimously. And that brings us to, flip through this, our first presentation. Oh, public hearing. If I can find, there's so many consent agenda pages. Thank you. The public hearing for Utilities Division Engineering Report Environment Information Document for the Chin Page Road Lift Station Force Main and Gravity Main Project. And take it away.
Good evening, Commissioners, County Manager. Thank you for having us here tonight. We're here this evening to conduct a public hearing to receive comments on the Utilities Division Engineering Report for the Chin Page Road Lift Station, Force Main, and Gravity Main Project. A new Chin Page Road lift station and associated piping has been recommended to increase sewer capacity for the Stirrup Iron Creek Lift Station located within the Northeast Creek Basin, which serves a large area between Research Triangle Park and the Durham County line south of Highway 70. The current sewer infrastructure in this basin does not have sufficient capacity for proposed development, redevelopment, and future flows anticipated from the recently adopted Durham City-County Comprehensive Plan. The three alternatives considered included constructing the proposed Chin Page lift station, no action or do nothing, and expansion of the Stirrup Iron Creek lift station. The selected alternative of constructing the proposed Chin Page lift station will remove an existing abandoned lift station from the 100-year floodplain and locate the new station outside the 500-year floodplain, address capacity limitations within the Stirrup Iron Creek lift station, and minimize potential for future sanitary sewer overflows. The do nothing alternative was rejected as it does not address the capacity limitations of the Stirrup Iron Creek lift station. Expansion of the Stirrup Iron Creek lift station was also rejected due to the existing force main needing expansion along a heavily traveled and densely populated area with environmental impacts as well as potentially costly upgrades such as new pumps and electrical system. The Chin Page Road lift station project entails construction of a 10.2 million gallon per day lift station, approximately 1,000 feet of 30-inch gravity sewer influent to the lift station, 500 feet of 24-inch force main, and roughly 4,000 feet of 30-inch gravity mains. The project is being funded in part by NCDEQ Division of Water Infrastructure via a Clean Water State Revolving Fund loan in the amount of $19,298,025. The loan will be repaid over a 20-year period at a maximum interest rate of 1.16%. Additionally, the board approved appropriating $1,875,250 of the Sewer Utility Enterprise Fund balance for pre-construction services at $1.4 million, plus $385,961 for the Clean Water State Revolving Fund loan fee, plus $89,289 for contingency. At this time, we do not anticipate increasing any sewer rates based on this loan. County Utilities is beginning a separate project to perform an in-depth rate study, which we expect to be completed second quarter of 2025. Durham County issued a call for public comments from August 20th, 2024 to September 9th, 2024 through newspaper advertisement, Durham County website, and the utilities listserv. Utility staff will review all comments received through the public comment period and through the public hearing to prepare them for DWI analysis. To date, no comments have been received.
Thank you so much. I will bring it to the board for any questions for staff. Commissioner Carter, then Commissioner Jacobs.
Yeah, do you have any theories as to why we've received no comments? Do you think it's just because there really just in general are no concerns or questions about it, or could it be something else?
When we put the information out for public comment, we provided links to where they could download the engineering report. It's gone through a lengthy review process through the state and federal agencies. So it's had a number of eyes reviewing it. So at this point, we got it out to as many people as we could.
Yeah.
We have an active listserv, which we sent the information out through that goes to all of our engineering community and contractors and developers that have signed up for the information. So, we've gotten out as best we could to get information. So I assume it's kind of a standard process to review these reports, and I guess nobody really had any questions about expanding the infrastructure.
Thank you. I'm glad that you feel confident about that, and it sounds like all of the review, not just this review here in Durham County, but at the state level, et cetera, a lot of eyes on it, as you say. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, Commissioner Jacobs.
So I just have first a general question is, I'm curious, do we need to have a public hearing on this because we are borrowing money? What is the reason for it?
Yes, as part of receiving the loan through the Division of Water Infrastructure.
Okay. And what is the estimate for what the total cost will be for this project?
Right now, we're right in the $20 million mark. We're about to start the kickoff meeting for the project here later this month. This was approved through the board for a design build project, so we're working with Garney Contractors, with Friesen Nichols as the engineer. So once we start getting a design, get our first round of conceptual schematic designs in, we'll start refining what that estimate is going to be.
Well, congratulations and kudos for getting this loan. And what do you estimate as the timeline for the project, since we're at capacity now?
Our goal is that the station would come online in about 2.5 years.
2.5 years, okay. And when it is completed, will it address all of the planned future capacity that's in the comprehensive land use plan, that's reflected in the future place type map, and also that's in the RTP 3.0 kind of projections?
It will account for all the future flows according to the place type map as it currently was published for the Chin Page Road lift station itself. I guess at a later date, we'll need to go back and once Chin Page comes online, see exactly where the Stirrup Iron lift station stands. But Chin Page will be designed for a future build out.
Okay, great. I just think it's important. I mean, this is really, it's an economic development project, right? It is really critical. Obviously, RTP is really key to our creating jobs and having a thriving economy, and also for people living in the area. We were anticipating that more and more people are going to live in and around RTP, so this is a very, very important project, and I appreciate all of the staff's work on this and leadership on this. Thank you.
Vice Chair Burns.
I concur with the comments of my colleagues, but I did want to, she got some of my question. I kind of want to dig just a little bit deeper, because I know that this seems pretty massive and we're building something for future growth. What would be the capacity of this? I know that sounds random, right? Because as we all know, RTP 3.0, we're looking at apartments, we are looking at, a water pad. I'm trying not to say certain companies' names, but Andy, keep me honest. I said economic developer, but we know what's coming, right? And then there are companies that quite frankly own property. I know where this solicitation will go on Chin Page Road, that they themselves, unbeknownst to us, might be planning expansions, and then we might see a daycare or a house pop up. There's numerous gas stations there. Wake Tech, which is straight down the road, almost adds a half a building or a new building every year. That's right, which is in Wake County, I get it, but it'll be a force multiplier for stuff that gets built up around it. So like, what is the capacity for something like this? Part one, and then maybe part two of my question, it would be interesting to see, because I'm super excited, we were able to get the loan. Thank you for the work. I'm happy that we had a sewer utility enterprise fund that we could pull from, but as my colleague pointed out, this is an economic development this is an economic development boondoggle for somebody who might have not been looking at this road, and it's like, it's a little bit more site ready. So in the future, for other board members, how do we set up a fund where they can pay into it so that we're not always catching the burden of some of these costs? So 2 questions. Is it possible to maybe, Andy, I'm looking at you, work with folks to come up with a fund that when we have to do this again in 20 years, the dollars are there because there are companies that are paying a quarter of a tenth of a cent in there? And then my first question is the capacity one.
So this station is going to be designed to 10.2 million gallons, and that's based off of what the land use plan currently shows, based off of the projected uses of the land. There are components of the capacity that we will never be able to anticipate, and that will be what industries kind of come into play. The key thing to note with this particular basin, it sits right on the edge of the Research Triangle Park. A large majority of the park drains to the Triangle Wastewater Treatment Plant by gravity. So it would not affect what's happening within the park with RTP 3.0 on this lift station. There will be impacts where flows start merging in the gravity collection system, but this station itself would not be impacted by RTP 3.0.
Thank you for that context. And as soon as you said gravity, I feel like Perry explained that to us one time, but thank you. That's helpful. And I did see Andy jump out. I don't know if he's going to get the other half of my question. That's helpful.
Yes. Good evening, Andy Miracle, Director of Economic Development. As it relates to your question, could you repeat that again?
Well, no, much like everything else that we do, I personally feel like in Durham County, we lift very heavy and we punch above our weight. And I think at times we're happy to do that. And I'm proud that we've been able to do so much with so little in comparison to like a Wake or MEC. But the same way we're trying to get companies to want to invest in childcare or invest in our justice-involved individuals, I'm just curious as to, is there a way, maybe as we're developing new community benefit statements, you came to us about additional ideas and policies at work session. Is there something where we could say a percentage of what we're doing with this tax break, we're utilizing and putting in an additional fund for these kind of infrastructure? And I know that we have a sewer utility enterprise fund. Can we say that a certain amount of those tax breaks go into that? So the next time we have to do this, maybe not here, but in another portion of Durham that we are trying to keep shovel ready, that these dollars are also in a position, so maybe we don't have to take out a $20 million loan, have to take out a $10 million loan because the business community has started to foot the bill for some of these infrastructure changes.
I see. So I believe that's kind of like reserving some of the profit generated from business recruitment. We could certainly explore that conversation if that's the direction that we want to go in. That would effectively, divert funds from the general fund and set those aside for an alternative purpose. If that is the direction, I think there may be an opportunity to have that conversation as part of the the policy revisions that we're looking at, and so we could explore that at that time.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much. With that, if there are no more questions from the board, I will open the public hearing. There, according to our clerk, no one signed up to speak. See, I'll give it a moment. Okay. Seeing no one step up to speak, I will close the public hearing and bring it back to the board for a vote. Does anyone want to make the motion?
Madam Chair, I flew right past it. I'd like to make a motion that our board Here we are. I'd like to make a motion that our board approve I'm gonna scroll down, y'all. I do apologize. I'm just trying to get the language, and my computer doesn't want to move. I wasn't ready.
There is no vote. Okay, never mind.
Oh, there is no vote for
Perfect.
public. Oh, perfect. Okay, because I was looking for language.
Okay,
This public hearing was just to receive any comments.
perfect.
Wonderful. Okay, because there was none.
Well then, we have closed the public hearing. Thank you so much. That brings us now to the end of our agenda. No items were pulled from consent, so we are going to have 2 closed session items. The board is requested to adjourn into closed session for the following: to consider the qualifications, competence, performance, character, fitness, conditions of appointment, or conditions of initial employment of an individual public officer or employee or prospective public officer or employee, or to hear or investigate a complaint, charge, or grievance by or against an individual public officer or employee pursuant to General Statute 143-318.11A6. And the second closed session is to discuss matters relating to the location or expansion of industries or other businesses in the area served by the public body, including agreement on the tentative list of economic development incentives that may be offered by the public body in negotiations pursuant to General Statute 143-318.11A4.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Howerton, seconded by Commissioner Jacobs. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, we are in closed session. We'll start with economic development.